The same way Jesus stilled the storm is the same way you and I have to still the storm. Is our example. You speak to that storm. You command that storm to be peace, to be still. You speak peace into that storm. You destroy the power of that storm by the words of your mouth. It's not just your word, it's his word in your mouth. I say his words in your mouth. That's why the Bible says, this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. Because that is how you speak to the storm. The storm responds to the word of God in your mouth. I've taught you this. I taught you this extensively last year, if you remember. The Bible says, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God, right? The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him. Without him, nothing was made that was made. That's John chapter 1, verse 1 to 5. In him was life. Right? He says, in him nothing was made that was made. And this, and says, there's nothing made that was made. And this word shines in darkness. Darkness cannot comprehend it. So when you speak the word, you are speaking Jesus, because Jesus is the word. Are you get what I'm saying? The reason why the storm has to listen to you is because you are not just speaking your word, you are speaking Jesus. You are becoming the mouthpiece of Christ. So when you speak the word of God, that's why the Bible says, this book of law shall not depart where? Out of your mouth. The Bible says, let the word of God fill you richly. So that when storm shows up, you speak, it is written. When temptation shows up, you speak, it is written. When attack shows up, you speak, it is written. Because the word of God is Jesus Christ spoken. The word became flesh. It dwells among us. We beheld his glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father. Who is the only begotten of the Father? Jesus. So Jesus Christ is literally the word we speak. He was just covered in flesh and showed up like human being. Jesus Christ is the word personified, personalized. It's literally Jesus Christ. Let me show you this. When man was created, God went to the clay, molded man, right? And breathed into the man. And Bible says the man became a living soul, correct? But when Jesus Christ was created, God didn't go to the clay. He spoke him into existence. Jesus is literally the word. He appeared to Mary. He says, you are pregnant. Pregnant, how? I'm engaged to be married to my husband. We've never had intimacy. He said, that thing that is inside of you. God impregnated Mary with words. He spoke Jesus into her womb. So Jesus is literally the word. That was why, I'm trying not to go deep, but let me say this. That was why when Jesus Christ died and they buried him, he couldn't stay in the grave. Because dust to dust, he was not dust. He was not made from the clay. He was made from the word. And the Bible says, my word shall not return to me void, except it accomplish that for which it is sent forth. So God tricked the devil. It's a mistake to have buried Jesus. There's no way he could have stayed there because it's not dust to... When you and I die, they bury us. They say dust to dust. Because we are made of dust. We are made of dust. We are made of clay. Jesus was made of the word, was not made of dust. So he cannot stay in the dust. God spoke Jesus into the womb of Mary. And the word has to return to him, accomplishing what he sent it for to accomplish. So Jesus had no choice but to resurrect. He couldn't have stayed in the grave. So Jesus is literally the word of God. He was spoken into existence. It was word covered in flesh. The word became flesh. So when you speak the word of God, you are speaking Jesus. So the storm has to respond. The storm had no choice but to respond. When Jesus Christ said, peace, be still, even if the storm doesn't want to be still, he had no choice. So when you speak to the storm, the word of God, the storm has no choice. You get what I'm saying? Is this making sense to you? The storm has no choice but to obey. Because his word cannot be broken. Heaven and earth will pass away, not a single dot, not a single iota of his word will go unfulfilled. His word cannot be broken. So fill your mouth with the word of God so that you can address your storm. To fill your mouth with the word of God, you have to fill your heart with the word of God. Because out of their belly shall flow the rivers of living water. The word you speak from your mouth is an overflow of what is inside of you. So garbage in, garbage out. If you are filled with the word in the time of storm, the word comes out. If you are filled with curse word in the time of storm, the first that come out of you is F. What the F? That what is in your heart. I misspoke. No, you didn't misspeak. That what is in your heart. Because when you are squeezed, what is inside will come out. Fill yourself with the word of God. Soak yourself in the word. So that when storm shows up, instinctively, without thinking, you can blast that thing with the word of God. Because if you believe what Jesus Christ did, we will do. Greater things shall we do. Look at Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. Am I making sense to you this night? For the word of God, verse 12, Hebrews 4. For the word, look at it. For the word of God is what? Quick. The word of God is what? Quick. That word quick means is alive. When somebody is quickened, something is quickened. The word quick is not talking about just speed. It's talking about being alive. For the word of God is quick, is alive. And what? Powerful. Are you seeing this? Do you have it in your... I hope I didn't waste my time printing this out to you. Okay, this is great. Thank you. I need to hear that. That's great. Seriously, I need to hear that. The word of God is quick and is what? Powerful. And look at it. It is what? Sharper. It's sharper than two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joint and marrow, and is a discerner of the thought and intent of the heart. So the word of God is Jesus in the flesh. Jesus in the flesh is the word of God, but the word of God is also the sword of the spirit. Remember in Ephesians, put on the whole armor of God that you might be able to stand in the evil days. Remember that? Put on the whole armor of God so that what? You might be able to stand in which day? Evil days. The armor is designed to protect you in battles. Nobody dressed up in armor just to go to a party. When you see a soldier dressed in his armor, he's going to war. The armor is designed to fight. Is to defend you and to help you go on the offense. And in the armor, in the spiritual armor, the sword of the spirit is your offensive weapon. The sword of the spirit is your offensive what? Weapon. And so the Bible is saying here in Hebrew, can we give them manual, please? Can we give outline, please? The sword of the spirit is the offensive weapon. It is what? It is the equipment, the instrument you use to fight. Can we give them? Is instrument you use to what? Fight. So the word of God is Jesus covered in flesh. Jesus is the word of God covered in flesh. But the word of God is also sword. So if you don't have your sword, how do you fight in the battle? Many of us are swordless. Many of us have so many knowledge of things that does not matter. We know the football teams. We know their name, basketball teams. We have all kinds of information. But those information will not help you in the time of trouble. They won't help you in your storm. They won't steal the storm for you. They won't help you as a sword in the spirit to defeat the adversary in the evil days. But you put on the whole armor so that you might be able to stand in the evil days. God knows that there will be evil days. I just told you at the beginning of this teaching that Jesus was in the boat with them and the storm came. That you are born again, that you are a Christian, that you are serving God and you are saved does not mean challenges will not come. It will come. Bible says, in this world you shall have tribulation. In me you shall have peace. Be of good cheer because I have overcome the world. He's saying to you that trouble is part of the package in this earth. Until we get to heaven, until we get to the new heaven and the new earth, trouble will never cease. I've said this to you a million times in different ways at different times. What you and I have to know is to know how to deal with the storm when it comes. A friend of mine called me this morning, very early in the morning, called me. I look at the call. I didn't pick it up. I was so exhausted because I've been up for a while. Then he called me again, then I need to say, call me. So I pick it up. And he said to me, he said, I know you have been in ministry for a long time. He said, I know that you've been in ministry ever before I even thought about ministry. I need to ask you a question. I said, what is going on? Have you ever done this? Have you ever done this? Have you ever done this? Have you ever made this mistake? I said, what? Tell me specific, what is going on? He said, no, you tell me first. Have you ever been in this situation? I said, where do you want me to start? I said, if I start this story, what is going on? And he's a pastor. And he's been a pastor for over 20 years. And he has a thriving church. But what he was faced with totally discouraging, make him question his call in this particular mission. He was so down. I could hear it in his voice. I began to talk to him. I began to encourage him. I began to challenge him. See, he didn't know what storm me I'm facing. Oh. But God comforts us so that we can comfort others. Many times the storm you are facing is not even for you. It's a training ground for you so that it can be a blessing for others. So that's why we don't always say, God, why me? Why is this? How long is this going to take? You talk like that, Satan will just be clapping for you. Keep talking. Because you are putting fuel inside Satan's fire. And you are extending your journey. You are turning your 40 days journey to 40 years. You know, the children of Israel were supposed to only take 40 days to get from Egypt to the promised land. Some people even say it was supposed to be 14 days. Some people say 14, some people say 40. But nobody goes beyond that, 14 or 40. They end up spending 40 years because of the way they were talking. Your mouth is powerful. Tell your neighbor, your mouth is powerful. No, some of you didn't say. Tell your neighbor, your mouth is powerful. Tell your neighbor, watch it.